I've yet to meet one that can outsmart a bullet.
G'day everyone, this is NickBro101 here, and today we're gonna be talking about how to get started with everyone's favorite minigun wheel in Russian, Heavy Weapons Guy. Let's begin with Heavy's basic statistics. Heavy is classified as a defensive class by the game and a power class by the community, meaning that he is very strong keeping enemies away from a defensive position. Heavy has the highest amount of HP in the game, with 300 base HP, which can be overhealed to a whopping 450 HP. To counteract this, however, Heavy is sadly the slowest class in the game, with only 77% movement speed. Heavy's default loadout consists of a minigun, a shotgun, and his bare fists. Overall, I would say that Heavy is one of the easier classes to pick up when learning the game, so you should be able to quickly get a grip on his playstyle. As a Heavy, your main role in the team is that of area denial. People generally don't want to mess with a Heavy and his minigun up close, and you can use this to your advantage so that people don't want to approach your team too much. If enemies do decide to get close to you, however, then you can present them with some of the highest DPS that this game has to offer.
Ha! You can't hit what ain't there!
No! You!
This kind of damage can also be used to great effect when trying to break open the defense in a closer ranged area. If the defense is holding close range positions for the Heavy's minigun, then you should not be surprised to see that said Heavy can just mow down the entire enemy team. Let's talk about some weapons I would recommend you to start off with. For your primary weapon, you should stick with your stock minigun. It has a good balance between damage and mobility. At point blank range, the minigun can deal upwards of 540 damage per second, but this kind of power will be only available at close range though. The minigun quickly becomes inaccurate at range, and the damage drops off considerably to even 3 damage per bullet. So please don't try to snipe with the minigun. So many new heavies do this and you are not helping. Just stop, okay? Miniguns also need to be revved up before they can fire. While revving up or firing, you'll also get slowed down even further. You can negate this a little bit, however, by jumping right before you rev up. You don't get slowed down while airborne, so this makes you a little bit faster. A hidden mechanic that all miniguns have is that for the first second of being revved up, your minigun will be less accurate than usual and only deal half the amount of damage it normally deals. If you want to maximize your effectiveness with the minigun, then make sure that you are already revved up before fighting the enemy. By far the most effective and easiest to use secondary for the Heavy is the sandwich. When you eat the sandwich with left click, you'll be able to recover all of your health whenever you want. You will however be stuck in an animation for 4 seconds when eating, but this is very much worth it to recover whenever you want. Just be sure that you are in cover when you are eating your sandwich so that you don't get shot by the enemy team. And for Spies, make sure that you are eating with your back turned towards the wall so that you don't get backstabbed. Some Spies will desperately try to stab you, however, but just greet them with Sasha once you're done munching.
I require assistance! Oh, please, do not be my friend. I am the spy. Ah!
With right click, you can toss the sandwich on the ground for your team to pick up. This will heal them for half of their HP. Once you've used up your sandwich, you'll need to recharge it. It takes about 30 seconds to recharge it, but you can speed up the process. If you pick up any health pack while at full health, then you'll instantly recharge your sandwich. Even if you already have a sandwich, you can use this trick to sort of upgrade a small health pack to a medium health pack for your team. Your melee isn't as important on Heavy, but one that I would recommend is the Fists of Steel. These fists allow you to take
40%
less damage from your enemies while you have them out. This is great if you want to either escape a bad situation or you want to essentially put a very beefy wall on the objective. As a downside, you'll take 100% more damage from melee attacks, get less healing and overhealing from medics, and it will take longer for you to pull out your weapons. All of these stats, however, only apply to you when you're holding out your fists, so when you don't need to resist anymore, be sure to put the fists away and pull out your minigun. The biggest part of Heavy's playstyle though is positioning. Generally speaking, you'll want to be close to the front line together with your team. Just be sure that you also have some cover available to you so that you can quickly hide behind it and take a breather, just restock on some health and ammo and such. Newer heavies way too often overestimate how much they can tank, so be sure that you are ready to retreat once your health starts getting low. See if you can look around if there are perhaps any props available to you that you can just hide behind as you're shooting the enemy. Don't worry too much if it looks like the gun is just shooting straight through the box or whatever you're trying to hide behind. Just as long as the crosshair is on the enemy, you'll be able to hit them. Doing this, you will be able to cover most of your body so that it will become a lot harder to hit you even if you're just stationary. Another element to keep in mind is try to find places that are high up where you can still shoot the enemy. People mostly don't look up, so you can catch quite a few people off guard doing this. When up close, a heavy is capable of winning most 1v1 fights he comes across. However, when there are multiple targets, things can become rather troublesome. By using corners, you can let the enemies just walk into you one at a time. This way you can almost guarantee that you will win all of the engagements. However, if the enemy is prepared for you being around the corner, then this corner becomes less safe. Most classes mainly deal burst damage, meaning that they're able to quickly peek around the corner, shoot you, and then hop back into safety. If the enemy does this, then both of you will probably have hit only one shot. However, while you have dealt around 30 damage or so, they will probably have dealt upwards to 100 damage. This is similar to how most people deal with sentry guns, but the big difference between you and a sentry gun, however, is that you've got feet. There are two options for you in this situation. If you know there are more enemies ahead or you have already low HP, then you just want to run away. That fight simply isn't worth taking. On the other hand, however, if the enemy is alone and you've got more than enough HP to spare, then you probably just want to walk around the corner yourself, forcing the enemy to stay within your line of fire so that you can deal the most amount of damage possible. Heavy has two classes that can easily counter him, being Sniper and Spy. Their kits are very effective against slow and big targets, and you are both of those things. Try to avoid snipers by being in a close range room where you can deal a lot of damage. For example, I meet this sniper here at medium range. He has enough distance to take his time to line up a shot, and for me to do almost no damage to him. Luckily, the sniper misses his shot, but I'm not gonna chance getting my headshot off just by standing here. I don't know how many enemies there are around the corner or behind the snipers, so I decide to retreat. The sniper sees that I'm afraid of him, so he decides to chase me. Little did he know though that I ran around the corner and I was ready to introduce him to 540 damage per second. In most situations though, you'll want to spend as little time as possible in areas with long sightlines. A sniper will be waiting for you there.
G'day.
Oh shit!
Spies are a bit harder to avoid though. Just try to stick close to walls and turn around whenever you aren't shooting at an enemy. Also, use your ears. If a spy backstabs someone on your team, they'll make a very loud scream. So, if you hear this, then the spy is probably about to stab you, so turn around immediately. Oh, and when it comes to payload cards, they seem very useful to stand next to as they give you free health and ammo, but most payloads are in quite open positions. A lot of heavies I've seen seem to turn into mounted guns whenever they jump onto a payload, which makes them a very easy target. When it comes to actually shooting a gun, you just kind of want to stay calm. You will need to track your opponents in order to kill them. Spraying your gun all over the place won't net you any kills, and you'll just look kinda silly doing it.
Here I come!
Stay focused on one target at a time before moving to the next. Often you'll want to let long range targets go because of the minigun's downside that we've discussed earlier, but if you've got nothing better to do and you're already in a safe position, then you could try to scare off the enemy away by shooting in their general direction. You probably won't get a kill doing this, however, your job is to just protect the area around you. Scaring enemies away will just give you the same results as killing them. In both cases, the enemy that is bothering you will just be gone.
Wait, there's a scout in our cafe?
Yep. Oh, this ain't good.
When facing another heavy, you will be more so tested around your game sense rather than your aiming skills. If you aren't going to win the fight, then you might as well just run away as fast as possible, even if you haven't taken any damage yet. Generally speaking, the heavy to win the duel will be the one who's revved up first and has a medic with them. Speaking of medics, medics greatly extend what the heavy is capable of doing. You can just take a lot more damage thanks to the overheal, and you can quickly get back into the fight due to the healing overall. However, don't forget, you are not invincible. You still want to retreat if you take too much damage. Medics will often want to ubercharge you. In order to use the ubercharge efficiently, then you'll want to take down the most important targets first. On offense, you can just use an uber to break the thing that is stopping your team the most from going through. This is usually an engineer with a sentry gun or a demoman or an enemy heavy. On defense though, you'll want to stop the most aggressive attackers from killing the rest of your team. For example, here I prevent the blue team's uber from getting past and damaging our team just by physically blocking their way forward. Keep in mind that the medic always is more important than you are. Be sure to protect him at all costs. Give him your sandwich if he's going low, and allow the medic to heal other players before charging in yourself. Okay, that was a lot of information, and I've probably made heavy seem far more complex than he actually is. So let me just quickly summarize some key points. Make sure you are ready with your minigun before fighting the enemy. Use cover and be willing to retreat if you take too much damage. Try to keep your enemies as long as possible in your minigun's line of fire by surprising them. Be more aggressive when a medic is on your side, but don't take his healing for granted. And avoid standing in the open for too long. You are not a sniper, damn it! Anyway, hopefully you've been able to learn a thing or two, and you are now ready to start mowing down a bunch of baby men on the enemy team. Thank you so much for watching, I hope you've enjoyed, and see you next time.